In this video, I will take you through some common mistakes. So, you've got your site up and running. You know how to create content and keep your site up to date. You've got backups sorted, and that's great, because that's one of the most commonly made mistakes. Here are a couple of more common mistakes you should avoid. As we've learned in a previous lesson, it's good to think about your permalinks before you actually start using WordPress. Permalinks, the name kind of says it, are meant to be permanent. So once you've set them, you really shouldn't change them again. If you do decide to change them, the URL of your posts will change. This means search engines can no longer find your post as they have indexed the old permalink. Visitors coming to your site via search engines will end up on your site with an error message saying the post could not be found, the infamous 404 message. Between WordPress, all the plugins and themes, it can be hard to keep track of all the updates a site needs, especially if everything is working smoothly. It can be even harder to see the immediate value in taking the time to process those updates. But keeping plugins and themes and WordPress itself updated is one of the most important tasks you have as a site owner. Updates not only bring new features, but oftentimes fix bugs and security issues. Last thing you want to see happen is end up with a hacked site, right? We've talked about what plugins are and what they can do. And with more than 50,000 plugins available in the WordPress repository, you have a lot of options to choose from, which makes it very tempting to install a plugin for every little thing you can think of. But that doesn't come without a cost. Not only will you have to keep all these plugins up to date whenever there are updates, but there are other risks as well. You may end up with a slow site. Too many plugins doing fancy stuff can possibly slow your site down. So evaluate carefully before you install a new plugin. We've talked about where to get a theme for your site. Chances are you found one that fits your needs. You've installed it, but after a little while, you realize you want to change a few things. And you can. But before you dive into how to change your theme, you should create a child theme and make your changes in the child theme. By doing this, you'll be sure that when your initial theme sees some updates, you won't lose all your modifications. By the way, there's a big chance you only want to do some CSS changes, and the customizer should suffice for this. CSS is a markup language that's used to design what a website looks like. That's also a future-proof way to change things about your theme. One of the most common mistakes we see is once you have your site up and running, you may want to delete posts or pages. They may no longer serve the purpose they used to serve. And it makes good sense to remove those. However, since the search engines have indexed your site, deleted content on your site will render the infamous 404 pages, page not found. Our Yoast SEO Premium plugin solves this for you. When you first install WordPress, WordPress will create a sample page and a Hello World post for you. Make sure you delete the default sample page via the Pages menu and the Hello World post via the Post menu. Okay, that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll dive a little deeper into the world of security.